So what's the aim of the channel?
Yeah, what's the plan?
I wish somebody would give me the plan. Hi, I'm Nick.
I'm Joe.
And welcome to our channel, Ruster Road, where you can join us on our conversion or upgrading of this Land Rover so we can take it on our future travels when we reach retirement. Come along for the ride.
Hi, we're Nick and Joe, and we're on a journey to retirement and a life of full-time travel. Overlanding is our passion, and we've driven and owned a succession of Land Rovers over the last 40 years. For the last 20 years, our Project Land Rover has been our mercurial 1989 110 station wagon. It's been a family car, occasional overlander and demanding companion. Come along with us and our perfectly imperfect Land Rover as we get ready to hit the road for full-time travel.
So we'll just give you a quick tour around the Land Rover as it's set up now. We've owned it for about 20 years. You know, originally it was a 12-seater country station wagon. We built it or bought it as a replacement for Discovery that was a family car, and it's kind of evolved and changed and metamorphosized throughout those years, as all Land Rovers do, I think. Base vehicle is a 110 country station wagon, 1989, so it probably would have come with a 2.5 turbo diesel engine, but it's actually been retrofitted sometime before we had it with a 300 TDI and a 380 gearbox, so it's pretty capable, probably the most bulletproof engine that they've made. You know, if you're considering going long distances into fairly rough terrain where you don't know you're going to find an average mechanic, there's no ECU or anything like that on it, so it's, you know, it's good for going off the beaten track in that respect. On the front, pretty standard, normal Land Rover headlight guards, normal bumper. However, this one's a slight upgrade for Snatch Land Rover, which really all it means is it's got the central towing pintle there, or recovery pintle. Light bar, some Amazon special lights, which work pretty well. The only thing I would say is they do corrode on the outside awfully quick. The finish is not very good, but in terms of the output, they're pretty good. Spots with the high beam, and then we've got the light bar that goes with the normal dip beam, because as we all know, Land Rovers don't have much in the way of headlights, especially this one because it's running on normal incandescent bulbs, and it will do. I've got a large stock of bulbs, is one good reason, but again, if we're talking about going places off-road, you're not necessarily going to find a stock of LEDs to replace any lights that you break around and about. Probably stop for now. Yeah, the other things we've probably changed to the front is change the light surrounds. Later ones got on about 4 or 5 years ago, and a new grille. And for some reason I got caught up in the excitement of painting them grey. They'll probably go back to black at some point. The other thing you probably see at the front is there is some reflective insulation that unrolls and drops down in front of the radiator. That's there to stop the airflow through in the winter. We know Land Rovers take an awfully long time to heat up. You know, keep what little heat you've got in there in the winter with you. Okay, moving around to the side. So inside we're pretty stock, not much changed in here really. aftermarket seat covers, which have come in at some point. They've been swapped many times backwards and forwards, but tend to find when you're in hot countries, having the plastic seat covers just makes you sweat an awful lot. Probably the biggest upgrade I've had in here is heated seats, just a Brit Park kit, simply controlled by a button that I put in the front here. Absolutely fantastic piece of kit to have in the winter, keeps you nice and cosy. The length of time it takes to warm a Land Rover up, that'll get you going a lot faster. A later centre console, just with a double DIN radio in it, controls for the lights and some auxiliary sockets and stuff like that. Apart from that, a homemade cubby box, which keeps all the junk from rolling around. Very little of any substance other than that that's gone on here. The only other thing I could probably mention is a reversing camera, which you use instead of the rear view mirror, so that's set to go on all the time. So that one is linked to a high up camera, but we've also got a reversing camera set lower down that comes up on the radio. So at the back of the vehicle, again, pretty stock, swing away wheel carrier, spare tyre, spare boost alloy. Hanging off that, instead of the usual trasharoo or the cheap copy, what we've got is a probably more substantial rucksack that's hung on there, secured to the wheel, and we use that for keeping all the, the odds and sods that we don't want inside the vehicle. But washing up bowls, barbecues, fire pits, hoses, all the bits and bobs that you need around the vehicle, but not necessarily in it. So that's quite a useful feature, and obviously the rubbish goes in there before we leave camp and stuff like that. So it's a useful facility, but you can, there is a way to break away from using trashery, use something else. Also down the back of that, we've got a good old shovel, which has many uses, which I won't necessarily go into. So into the main living part, back of the Land Rover. Obviously when we got this, it was fitted with drop-down rear seats. So originally there would have been 12 seats in this Land Rover, 2 side-facing fold-down seats in the back and a second row of seats there. Over the time, the back's evolved, so we've had storage in the back, storage out, retain the seats. But this is probably the most recent version we got it. It's kind of inspired by a guy called Simon, a bloke in the woods. We saw his YouTube channel many years ago, and we kind of had an idea to build off what he suggested, but we've evolved it since then. We have got fold down rear seats, so the whole of the back area does become a sleeping area, which is really useful, and you'd be really surprised how comfortable it is even in this little space. To get 2 adults in here, you can actually get quite a good night's kip in here. Obviously we'll look at the tent in a minute, but sometimes putting the tent up is a bit of a no-no, either weather-wise or wherever you're camping it may not be suitable to put a tent up. But this has evolved, got a space for a cooker, it sits under there, got a small power pack. We don't have a lot that charges up, but that runs off the leisure battery. So we've got a 12 volt, fairly large lead acid battery in there. Bit outdated, but it does keep the kind of technology that goes with it fairly low. You haven't got MPPT and DC chargers and things like that. There's other cheaper options. We've got a Alpicool fridge that's all plumbed into the 12 volt, and that's really quite a useful little tool for the money that it costs. And then under seat storage, can access from this side under the seat here. Got a pull out drawer at the front there that runs the whole length, and then we've got to get into an access through lift up flaps for storage underneath or through the side doors, and we've got a combination of storage boxes in there. We've also got the toilet in there as well, so that when we need to stop, we have got somewhere where we can drop if we need to. And that's pretty much it. It's pretty simple. Work to be done, but we'll talk about that in a bit.
You're not going to mention the lovely roof that we put in it?
Yeah, so this is the original headlining.
Hard grafting.
It was very, very manky at some points after many years of kids rubbing their hands across it, various trips to the tip and things like that. But we took it out, peeled off the old cover, and then good old spray contact adhesive and some new stretchy headlining fabric.
We did a pretty good job.
We did. Job, didn't we? That was probably one of the first jobs we did, just before we did this, wasn't it? It's amazing what a difference it can make having a headlining in place. The one thing we didn't do, which we will do in the future, is we haven't insulated. The journeys that we've been on at the moment have all been in warmer climes, so insulation probably wasn't such a real worry, but that will be something that we will be doing. Also, we've got some blinds here that we use when we're sleeping in the back, and they're made out of, again, more of the insulated sheet, so they've got a reflective capability but also insulated as well. The internal facings are made out of the headlining, and we've got those, and they do all the windows and the windscreen, and it's pretty much blacked out in here. Keeps it fairly cosy, and it means you don't have a lot of light seeping out, so if you are kind of stealth camping, for want of a better word, you're not going to get spotted so easily.
I was just going to say about the front runner table we've got, which I love. This was an anniversary present to ourselves. A surprise to Nick that he absolutely loved. I love it too. And I have to say that you do most of the cooking at the minute, but that might change. So yeah, I love my little table.
I mean, the great thing about that is you're sat underneath a ready-made awning with the roof tent. If we didn't have the roof tent, we'd be a bit more exposed. You'd either have to have a separate awning or 270 awning or something like that. But it is a great bit of kit. But it works well with the kitchen stuff all held above it, and that is, a lot of people use molly panels to hang pouches off, but that's just a bit of security fencing that I've got out of a skip holder with some P-clips. Does exactly the same job, but it means everything's within easy distance, what you want in the kitchen.
Nick's a bit of a stick of the dump, so if he can rummage and find stuff to use, then we're using it.
Well, I think that's a theme in this Land Rover, really.
It is.
Waste not, want not. I mean, these are made out of a redundant mattress we had. It's all improvise, adapt and overcome.
I mean, they were also done in a bit of a rush. We were off somewhere, weren't we?
We're off to our son's wedding. We had to get those
that's part of the journey, though, to do them all up and to revamp it. And yeah.
It's got a lot of ideas, but I think the next thing we do, we'll go upstairs and have a look in the roof tent. Welcome to our Tough Trek boudoir. It's a great tent. You would have seen it be erected earlier on. Okay, just a quick looking at the roof rack. Again, this is another bargain off at Marketplace. It was for the price of £0. It's a bit heavy. It's made out of 25mm box section, but it's done what we've needed it to do all the time. It's got 200 amp solar panels on it. Don't really run much apart from charging up the power bank and running the fridge. A couple of storage boxes, small solar panel at the front just keeps the engine battery charged, topped up really, so that we don't lose any power when it's stood around parked up at home for a while. And on the side we've just got a bracket where the max tracks sit and the traction boards, and that just holds them in place. It means they're really quite accessible. So the main living space is the Tough Trek roof tent. It's probably one of their lower spec models, but I've really never had any problems with it. You can hear the rain bouncing off it now, so it's a fairly good demonstration of the waterproof capabilities. We've been out in some really strong winds with this. It has weathered the storm, for want of a better expression. The great thing about roof tents is there's a huge amount of space. It comes with a mattress. We've got a mattress topper, but even when we fold it down here, we can keep our sleeping bags in here and our pillows when we're off travelling. This one also comes with an annex. I haven't put it up today, but if you're static for a long period, particularly in the UK, it gives you a great covered space to do all your cooking and admin and stuff like that, and storage. We don't tend to use it when we're travelling overseas because it does take up a bit of room and it adds a bit more time to the actual install, or probably the worst part is the knockdown of the roof tent combo, and that probably is the one aspect of a roof tent you need to consider, is how easy is it to get down when the weather's poor, because grappling with this when it's soaking wet and you're trying to get it back under the cover is a little bit difficult and can be a bit depressing at the start of the day if you've got a long day's journey ahead of you. But living in it, it's a great experience. It's fantastic. You couldn't ask for any more. I think the future question is, do we go for a pop top? And I think the answer is probably yes. But what that pop top is, I don't know. It could be anything from a self-help, self-build, all the way up to something that's purchased and installed. But that's a journey yet to come. So what are we going to talk about? Well, think we're going to track our journey to retirement. I mean, I know you'd retire tomorrow if you could, but we've probably got another couple of years in us yet.
And the main focus really in the beginning will be kitting out all the interiors, the cupboards, storage, any mechanical parts that we need to do, any changes that we are going to be making on the Land Rover. And that's the main part of it. And then during each video you'll see updates on how we're getting along, what we're doing, any new additions or adaptations. Yeah, and it'll just be a case of, to get there, obviously we need to revamp, reconfigure inside the living space. Obviously anything mechanical you'll be working on, with my help of course.
So you mean I get all the dirty jobs?
You get all the dirty jobs, but to be fair, I do help you out on those jobs as well. That'll be the essence of the videos,
Yeah.
Week by week.
But there's some big decisions along the way, you know. Do we go for a pop top? What other big modifications do we do?
Yeah.
When do we do them?
Yeah.
What order do we do them?
Yeah.
You know, it's not going to be simple, and it isn't going to be easy, because we're both still working. So
Yeah, it'll be a case of, you know, getting these videos out alongside working full time.
yeah,
It's about having fun. I mean, we love doing up the Land Rovers anyway, and also during that time, I mean, we will be taking it off as is. Why not?
Yeah.
You know, in the UK, various places that we haven't been in the UK, and then when it's ready, it'll be a case of following us on, you know, all the adventures that we're going to go on.
Yeah.
And we can't say there is a plan, because there isn't.
No.
It'll just be a case of, where do we fancy going? Let's look up that route, the countries that we want to travel to, and all the planning that goes with that. Yeah, wherever we go, and what we get up to, and all the places that we're going to go to, all the people that we're going to meet. So yeah, I'm looking forward to all our adventures to come. Cheers.
cheers. Land Rovers don't heat up. So it's a bit of a journey, really, isn't it?
I can't stand it. You've really got to get used to being in front of the camera, because this is ridiculous.
So what's the aim of the channel?
Yeah, what's the plan?
I wish somebody would give me that plan, because I don't know what it is.
Oh God.
I can't tell you what the plan is, because we don't know what the plan is. See if we make it into retirement still married. That'd be a good point, a good start, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Not fun. Why would you come like that?
No,
I'm sorry.
you are the weakest link.